Alrighty, so today I attempted to make a guide on Sennarth, which is probably the worst boss to do if you're a caster. So I'm not the best at this fight. I'm just gonna admit it right off the bat. There's some mechanics that I just don't quite understand, especially when it comes to the tank mechanics up front, because obviously I'm not tanking. But I'm gonna try my best to explain what I learned today over the past 3 hours of doing Vault of the Incarnates. So bear with me. I got my do-rag of concentration and my shorts of editing for most of my day today on. So hopefully we can learn some stuff. Alright, gonna pot here. And then we're just gonna go ahead and go over this way. Alright, so in the first clip you can see a lot of stuff is going on very quickly, and that is the theme of this boss. It is fast paced and it's just shoving stuff out at you. The first thing you see there is those ice puddles coming out at the very beginning of pull and perpetually throughout the boss. Sennarth, however you want to pronounce it. I say Sennarth. I read it as Sennarth. So, you know, we're just gonna. Two is the fact that there is a lot of pools at your feet. They're very important to pay attention to for a mechanic that's going to be explained next. 3, the spiders. This is the entire theme of this boss, spiders. First things first, the big spider. The one that is not the boss, but kind of like the medium-sized spider. That does a cone AoE in front of it. Does it every couple of seconds. It does a lot of damage. So number one, when you're pulling and when you're going through here, if you see the big spider, that is your focus. It should be marked and it should be killed as quickly as possible. Cast all of your big DPS should be going on the medium spider and then moving on to the boss. If you have AoEs, try to AoE cleave the little spiders while it's going on. Because those adds, they do stack up in damage, and they do definitely add a lot more confusion to this boss than needs be. Keep getting our free DPS here. One thing I've noticed about this boss is its health pool is not like anything insane. So you definitely can get a pretty good chunk of the damage done before anything too big comes around. Alright, so the next mechanic I'm going to cover is called Chilling Blast. You can see it in the video that it's just raid wide, everybody gets a blue circle around them. Just don't kill your neighbor. It's very easy. It's not a trick mechanic, just literally don't kill your neighbor. Alright, so this is mechanics where it really starts to get interesting. So Gossamer Burst, which is sometimes also called Gossamer Pull, is essentially everybody's going to get a string around them, and it's going to be pulled toward the boss after 3 seconds. There's a couple ways of going about it. You can either stop yourself by being pulled into a web, which will stop you immediately, or you can do wall strats, which are a little bit more interesting. I need to stand still, so if I don't move ahead of time, Gosper Pull's going out here, so stick to the side. Just like that, cleared it again. My dots obviously aren't on the boss. Just throwing away more free damage. I don't like to be negative in like raid. I feel like everybody's doing the best that they can, but at the same time, when I'm watching my own play, it's like that operator's critique, you know, like going back and like really editing, seeing what I did with both the Aeronog and the Taros fights, watching that footage, it really opens your eyes to like, while you think you may be hitting everything on time, in that moment, like, it's almost impossible for you to really see what you're actually doing. So, one thing that I left out when I went back and started reviewing these clips and putting them all together is I didn't talk about Gossamer Burst and the Ice AoE that's on the ground and how they work in synergy. So, when you get Gossamer pulled, if there is an ice patch you get pulled through it, it accelerates you extremely fast. So, when you're watching this Gossamer pull, definitely make sure that you're not positioning yourself in between the boss and an ice pool because you will get pulled off, even with speed buffs or some kind of movement interaction that you're using to boost your speed or to like ignore the pull itself. Even if you're across the room, if there's one sheet of ice, you're done. You're getting pulled back. Alright. Definitely gonna do it like this. So, now that you've made it all the way up a staircase, Sennarth's going to leap off of your web and leap onto the platform. Now, this platform is going to behave the same way that like the ice AoEs on the grounds do. It's going to have a slippery movement to it, like you're walking on ice constantly. The biggest changes here is Chilling Blast now changes into not only a round AoE that's at the center of your feet, but it's also going to drop a secondary AoE that will cause knockup and damage. What you want to do here is you can watch the video. I step to my left, drop off the AoE, and then I go back towards the center. And this is to counteract two mechanics, not only the Chilling Blast mechanic, but also to counteract the blowback mechanic, which is where Sennarth is going to launch you backwards from wherever you are standing. Definitely do not want to be on the sides when this happens. You will get knocked off the edge, enveloped, and sent back to the beginning. I've watched a lot of groups do this, and even though this is really like almost like a miracle kill here, you definitely pay attention to these mechanics. Because not every time are you going to have an absolute Chad of a tank who's going to solo 3% of the boss. I say that as somebody dies, that's no bueno. Least I can do here is pop some of myself healing. I got cooldown on pot, nothing I could do there. I guess honestly, could have power word shielded. That probably could have fixed this problem. It is 90% with 4 people up, so I think we got it. Not the cleanest, not the best, but it's enough to explain mechanics in a video. That's all I'm aiming here for, is practicing priest and getting information.